Hello, I'm Dr. Clint Sexton with Naperville Integrated Wellness, and we're going to talk about weight loss. It's January, and weight loss is on the minds of many people right now, so I just thought we would give you a couple different ways of looking at it. There's countless diets out there to follow. There's low carb, there's high fat, there's low fat, there's plant-based, there's vegan, vegetarian, volumetrics, calorie counting, you can go on and on. So you have a lot to choose from. And if you've tried some of these and you're just not getting what you want out of it, then you'll have to look a little bit deeper. So I'm going to talk about some of the key things that I have found interferes with a person's ability to lose weight. So common things you want to just make sure that aren't in the way would be, problems with the thyroid. You'd have blood sugar problems or insulin, meaning too much insulin activity or insulin resistance, or not regulating blood sugar effectively with that. You'd also want to look at hormones. Hormones can play a role in this. We don't want to blame everything on the hormones, but that can be involved with that as well. Then you go into things involving the immune system or autoimmunity, etc. Now, I know I've listed all these factors that can contribute to this, but several of those, the reason that they make it difficult to lose weight is going back to inflammation. Okay, inflammation is one of the biggest things that people just aren't thinking about when they're not able to lose weight. So when someone comes to me and says, look, I haven't had a carb in 6 months. I hired a personal trainer. I'm going to the gym. Well, not anymore, but I'm exercising. I'm not going to the gym with COVID right now necessarily, but I'm working out 5 times a week. And when you look at it and when the numbers just don't work, when it's just like, how is it possible that I've made these changes and nothing is happening? It's usually inflammatory in most cases, okay? Meaning there's something going on in the body that's contributing to inflammation, or it's actually the things that you're eating are still contributing to inflammation in the body. Inflammation is going to affect your ability to lose weight in several different ways. First of all, it's going to affect our metabolism set point, okay? And that occurs up in the brain in the hypothalamus. So when we have inflammatory issues, it's going to interfere with that set point. So you're going to have problems with metabolism and weight loss right at the beginning. Then we have at the other end of that whole spectrum would be actually what occurs when we're taking in food and turning that food into energy. So when we eat food, it has to ultimately get into our cells, and then it goes into little structures called mitochondria. And the mitochondria take the food that we eat and turn it into the energy our body in a form that our body can use. It's called ATP, all right? So that process of taking food and turning it into energy, or taking body fat for that matter and turning it into energy, thus burning fat, we're looking at mitochondria. And mitochondria don't function well when we have inflammation. It actually becomes this little vicious loop where inflammation starts to make the mitochondria less efficient, and they start actually producing more inflammatory chemicals themselves, which further makes them less effective in making energy. So it just becomes this loop that goes round and round. And so we see that inflammation is going to affect metabolism starting at the top point up here in the brain, and then at the level of the cell within the mitochondria. And so inflammation is one of these things that we're just not really looking at or thinking about when we feel like we're doing everything that really should result in not only weight loss, but the ability to keep weight off. And inflammation is sort of that one piece that we're really not looking at. And inflammation is tricky because you could say, well, I'll eat a low inflammatory diet. Well, what does that mean exactly? Because if it's inflammatory for someone, it means their immune system is involved in that process, and everyone's immune system is a little bit different. So what might be anti-inflammatory for one person may not be anti-inflammatory for another person. And this is where functional medicine comes in. We're looking for these underlying issues contributing to inflammation. So it could be the food you're eating. It could be to immune system or autoimmune issues. It could be with problems with the gut. But again, this is what we're doing with functional medicine, is looking for these underlying factors, these root causes that are contributing to the problems that we're experiencing. And I will also say that when the inflammation process is going, it not only interferes with your metabolism, but it starts to create dysregulation of other factors that would also make it more difficult to lose weight. So when I talked about thyroid or the immune system or autoimmunity or the gut, if you have these inflammatory issues going on, it makes all of those worse. And then it just becomes this web of inflammation and difficulty losing weight and keeping weight off. So I don't really like to always just focus on, weight loss as a factor, but if we're not losing weight or we're at an unhealthy weight, it's not good for our health. So hopefully this gives you a little different perspective on it, but always looking at that aspect of inflammation, and there's many ways it's going to interfere with your ability to lose weight and keep it off. Thank you.